The next chapter is post deployment survey. The first one is a passive survey. So now we are done with the pre-deployment survey. We understood everything about the customer requirement. We got to a customer briefing meeting. We understood everything, and then we did the pre-deployment survey, got the AP locations to mount the APs, mounted the AP fine, and the network has gone live now. And you see clients coming in, connecting on the Wi-Fi and having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. However, it's possible that after a few months of the network working just fine, they start complaining of roaming problems. They start complaining of coverage holes. They're not able to. They find dead zones in here and there, and then people start to complain, and that's very possible because RF is quite dynamic. Okay, the site survey which was performed 6 months back as a pre-deployment survey may not hold very true today. It's absolutely possible. So the customer reaches out to you and tells you that, see, I'm facing a lot of issues and complaints in my network. The clients are not able to roam properly. They are having coverage hole issues, and the voice calls are dropping. So what you need to do is you need to uh, again talk to the customer and understand exactly what is going on and in which location, and then you have to do something which is called a post deployment survey to just verify what the customer is saying. Okay, go on the ground, understand the behavior of the APs, and then do the passive survey. Now passive survey is simply, as the name suggests, you are passively listening to the RF. So what you will do is you will have a laptop or a device that can do or install a tool called Ekahau or Air Magnet or any other site survey tool that you use. You have, this is your keyboard. What you will do is you will install something called a Proxim adapter here and a Proxim adapter here. This one will be configured for 2.4 gigahertz. I'm assuming the network is deployed on 2.4 and 5 both. So these Proxim adapters are responsible for listening to the RF. And then on the Ekahau tool, you upload the floor plan once again and select something called a continuous survey. You upload a floor plan, you scale the floor plan, and now you know exactly. So before you start a passive survey, once again take a printout of the floor plan in an A3 sheet and get yourself familiarized with the floor layout. It's possible that when you did a predictive service, there were some changes that happened in the layout. Maybe a cabin came up, maybe a wall was broken down, or anything is possible. So you don't want to take any chance. You go ahead, walk around on the floor and understand the floor, and try to figure out from your from the first look that if there's something changed in the floor plan or not. Most often you will see that maybe a new cabin came up, maybe somebody got promoted, so he got a new cabin. One cabin was built up, which was somewhere blocking the AP, which was on the side, and hence you're seeing some coverage hole in the cabin. So it's very much possible that something like that happened, or maybe the devices which the vendor released, or the new laptops which they all got, probably has a sensitivity problem, which is why they are not able to connect properly on the Wi-Fi, or are able to, are trying to roam way before they should. So that's something which you need to address. So you need to go on the ground and start doing a passive survey. So for that, get the laptop ready, get the floor plan ready, have a Proxim adapter, two Proxim adapters installed, and then take the floor plan. On the floor plan which is on the laptop here, right here, okay, this floor plan, go to the corner and start walking in a particular direction. So you have to basically cover the entire floor with your walk, and then make sure that the RF is and the Proxim adapters are working at all times. So during that walk, the Proxim adapters will hear the RF signal from the APs. Okay, and at each and at any time, once you finish a survey, or even during in between the survey, you see that you are not receiving the signal on these Proxim adapters at any particular time, which means that yes, maybe my APs are not reaching to this position. Then you can identify the exact coverage hole areas. Or it's during one of my passive surveys, I was walking in the premises of an enterprise office, and even though I was below the AP, I was not receiving any RSSI or signal strength on my screen, which showed me that the AP really was not working, even though it was installed, but the antenna inside had died down. So or the radios were not working properly. So I had to, even though the LED light was green, it was working, but I was not getting any coverage from the AP. So during this walk, what you do is you identify any such areas, and even if you're not able to identify during that time, when you finish the survey, when you click on save or calibrate it, you will see that a simulation will be formed on the floor, which means according to the data that you captured, there'll be the simulation will show you what RSSI value was seen at which location, and the location where there was no data captured, you will see a gray area, right? So and that will tell you that, okay, I was not getting any coverage in these areas. So that's where you need to really go and check once again as to what's going on. So to identify the coverage holes, the RF issues, you do a passive survey, and this is basically just passively listening to the environment. Okay. And then once you identify the areas of coverage hole or dead zones, then you have the answer. You can go and tell the customer that this is where you see a problem, and then you can work with the customer to identify solutions and probably install another access point maybe, or try to make sure the another AP, if needs to be installed, then good. Otherwise, if you can work on tweaking the power levels, that's also cool. But yeah, so this is what a passive survey is, where you passively listen to the RF of the AP from a tool in the laptop, and then work with the Proxim adapters to understand the RSSI value and then take decisions accordingly. After this survey, you create a report for the customer, and then you have to deliver a proper report, identifying the coverage hole areas, dead zones, and what could be the potential reasons, what could be the potential solutions to these, and then you have to kind of get a sign off. So we'll anyway discuss about the deliverables in the later videos, but this is how a passive survey is done. Thank you.